Hello everyone, welcome to Codians. So today we are going to see algorithm using array. So let's begin with introduction. An array is a sequential collection of elements of the same data type. All the elements in an array have same size and a data type. So the elements which are stored in an array will have same data type. For example, we'll take if the element if the array is declared as integer and the element which will be stored in that data type will be stored in that array. All the elements will have only integer value. It will not have character, or it will not have boolean, or it will not have string. It will only and only have integer value. Okay. And all the elements in an array have same size. If we declare once the array, so the size of every element stored in array will also have same size only. It will not have different size. Array element share common name. So then if we declare suppose if we declare a array, so the name given to array and the element stored in the array will have a common name. It will not have a different name. And array elements are stored in sequential memory locations. So the elements which are stored in array will also be stored in the sequential memory location. It will not have different memory locations. The element, be it any element in an array, will all the elements which are stored in array all all will have only sequential memory locations. Okay. So definition: an array is a fixed number of similar type, so it will have a similar data type of elements which are stored in adjacent memory locations, and which will have memory location which will be same for all the elements stored in an array. Okay. An array is a sequence of data type of homogeneous value. So homogeneous means same data type. So the uh, element stored in the array will have same data type, as I said you in introduction. Okay. Now characteristics of array. An array holds element that have same data type. Okay. Two-dimension array elements are stored by row in sequential memory locations. So for we'll go for two-dimensional array. So there you will get to understand what is row by row. Okay. Array name represent the address of the starting elements. So the name given to an array will be represent the address of the elements which are stored in the array. Okay. Array size should be mentioned in the declaration. Uh, like if we declare an array of 5, so first it should be declared. The size should be declared first. Okay. Array size must be constant expression and not a variable. It should be a constant value. It should not change. Okay. At runtime it should not change the value. To store element in an array or access element from array index is used. We To store any element in array or to access any element in the array, we use index in the array. Array index always start with 0. Okay. Now declaration of an array. So how we declare an array? Array name, and we give in the curly braces we give size. So now representation like a of 5, and note this curly braces, sorry, the square braces is known as subscript. Okay. Storage structure of array. So how the elements are stored in an array. So as I said you first, that always the its arrays always starts with 0. Okay. So as we have said that a of 5, so it will start with 0. So a of 0, a of 1, a of 2, a of 3, and a of 4. Okay. So now let's see the types of array: one dimension array and two dimension array. And two dimension array is also known as multi-dimension array. So first see one dimension array. One dimension array, each element in an array is referred by a single subscript, in that is index. Okay. And for one dimension array we have single index, that is the array consists of single subscript. uh, as we have seen in earlier slide that a of 5 in one dimension array, it will be like a of 5. It will not have two subscript, that is it will not have a of 5 5, it will only have a of 5. Okay, this is used to represent and store data in linear form. Whenever we need to store the data in linear form, we used one dimension array only. Okay, for example, if we want to express fine number of by an array variable, then we have to declare the variable n as follows, that is int a of 5. Okay, whenever we need to store a linear form of data, so how we will store um, the how will declare the array, that is int a of 5, and this the 5 written in the brackets it is known as index, or it is known as subscript. Okay, so let's take an example of an one dimension array. A of 0, it will store 10. So you can see in the first index I have stored 10 value. Okay, in a of 1 it will store 20, in a of 2 it will store 30, and in a of 3 it will store 40, and in a of 4 it will store 50. So basically it has 5 values, right? 0 1 2 3 4, it has 5. Okay, so it array always start with 0 index, and like this is how the element is stored in an array. Okay, now we'll go for, so let's start with two dimension array. An array more than one index is also known as two dimension array. So array having more than one index is known as two dimension array. Okay, two dimension array is also known as multi or matrix array. Okay, a two dimension array is having grid of rows and columns which have each element is specified by two subscripts. Okay, it has in two dimension array it has two subscripts. Representation of two dimension array, it will be like, the representation will be like this. It will have rows and it will have columns. Okay, and this is also going to start with 0. So let's see advantages and disadvantages. So first advantages. First, it is capable of storing many elements at a time. At a time we can store many elements together. Okay. Second is it allow random access of elements. So we can access any element from an array at any time. Okay. Third, array are very useful when you are working with sequence of same kind of data. So whenever we are working on the same kind of data, at that time array is very useful to us. Okay, now fourth, not necessity to declare too many variables. We don't need to declare many variables to store many elements. We can declare one variable and store many elements together. Okay, fifth, array elements are stored in continuous memory locations. This I have already explained you in the beginning. Okay, now disadvantages are predetermining the size of array is must. Okay, we need to determine the size of array in the beginning. We can't declare, or we can't define, or we can't declare the size of array at the runtime. Okay, these are the disadvantages of array. So there is chances of memory wastage or storage. Okay, if we are not if like in array we are predetermining the size of array, no, so because of it memory wastage is there, and it sometimes storage problem also can occur. Okay, so like memory let's take an example. So like memory wastage can be if a user enter, we have declared the size of array is 10, and at the runtime user use only 5, only use only use 5, only input the 5 elements. So the other 5 elements have or the others 5 uh, size of array is wastage in that. Okay, and this is the waste of memory. Okay, and storage will like, if we have declared the array size as a of 10, and at the runtime the user need to input 15 values, So he can't enter 15 values because we have already said to an array that it is a of 10. So it can only store 10 values. It can't store 15 values. Okay. So these problems create in an array. Okay. These are the disadvantages of array. To delete any element in array, we need to traverse throughout the array. To delete or to access any element in an array, we need to go through whole we need to go and check every element individually. Okay, so this is being difficult for us. If we work on the large amount of data, then it's difficult for us. Okay, now fourth is sometimes it's not easy to operate with any index array. Okay, if we have large amount of data, so it's difficult to operate the data. Okay, fifth, we cannot change size of array at the runtime. There is no chance of changing the size of array at the runtime. Six, it can store only similar type of data. As I told you, that array can only store similar type of data. It cannot store different type of data. Okay. So let's take an example of an array. Write an algorithm to create array of an element from the user and display on output screen. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to create an array of n elements, and whatever the user will input the elements, we need to display on the output screen. So let's write an algorithm. Step 1, we'll start the algorithm. Step 2, declare variable I and a of n. So we'll declare two variables, that is I and a of n. Input the value of n. In a of n will input the value. So let's input the value of n is equals to 5. Okay, now step 4, I is equals to 0. So basically we'll define I as 0. In step 5, accept element and store in a of I. We'll accept the elements and we'll store in a of I. Okay, now we'll increment the value of I. Okay, because we have earlier declared I is equals to 0. I is equals to I plus 1. What is I? 0. 0 plus 1 is 1, and it will store in 1. It will store in I variable. In step 7, if I is less than n, then go to step 5. If 1 is less than 5, so it will go to 5 and store the element. Okay, likewise it will go on, and when it will be when all the elements are stored in a of I, so we'll do I is equals to 0. Okay, now we'll display the value which is stored in a of I. So I is equals to, in step 10, what is I is equals to I plus 1. So as we have done I is equals to 0, so one by one we'll store display the elements. Okay, so how it will be displayed, like I 0 is equal, I is equals to I plus 1, 0 plus 1. So 1, whatever will the element stored in 1, it will be go on display. Step 11, if I is less than n, then go to step 9. Step 9 is what? A of I, display a of I. So it will go on, and when the condition becomes false, it will go to step 12, and the algorithm will be stopped here. Okay, so here we end our video. So if you like the video, please hit the like button, comment and share, and please subscribe my channel. So thank you.